All right, tips on working out and the workouts. What are my tips, tricks, hacks, and what has made it efficient for people in the past that have done this challenge? Number one, print off the worksheets. They're so good to have in front of you, so good to make notes, markers, pen, whatever you want to be able to do. Say how many rounds that you did. They're really good for tracking during the workout. So number one, print those worksheets out. Number two, get out a timer. You're gonna need one. So get your iPhone out, set it to timer, turn it to screen never off. You want to be able to do that. So when the display says right now, maybe it says 30 seconds off to a minute off, you want to set it to never. So when you set it to never, you'll be able to see that timer the entire time. And then also set the timer so it counts down from 30 seconds more than the actual AMRAP. So if the AMRAP is 10 minutes, make it 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and then you start at the 10-minute mark. It will count down, give you a bell when it's over. The great part about that is that you get to play your own music, you get to have your own fun, you get to make the workout your workout. I would also make sure that before I started my workout, I just picked the right weight. Don't go too big. No need to make a hero out of this. Some of these exercises and workouts are going to require you to go lighter than you normally would, which is totally fine. If you want to add weight, great. But going too big, too early is going to cause injury, and it's going to cause you to tax yourself, and then you're not going to be able to complete the rest of the workout. So be aware not to go too big, too early. I would also say that I would get either poker chips, pennies, Legos, whatever you have around the house so you can count the amount of rounds that you are going through. A lot of people love Legos. I use chips, poker chips, or I use my chalkboard that's up there, and I just did this. So at the gym, I will probably bring pennies or something like that. So make sure that you have something to count your rounds, because it's a sense of personal accomplishment. Your rounds don't have to equal my rounds don't have to equal your rounds. There's no standard of weight. The standard of weight that which you move is yours, not mine. So make sure that you get that through your head. It's fun. It's not really about you trying to stick up with me or beat me, or maybe you are competitive like me and you just want to win, which is totally fine. It's all about your own personal accountability and recognition. So let's make sure that we're clear with that. So far we've got, we want to make sure that we've got the worksheets, we've got a timer set up, we've got something to count our rounds, and now let's get into, and we don't want to go too big too early. So that's the next one. And then next one that's going to come to mind is, hey, listen, if you've got to slow down, if you got to do not as many rounds, if you got to do you want to bypass the buyout, that's on you. It's totally cool. Whatever makes it so that you are creating your own fit identity. Like, it's about you. It's about your uncomfortableness. It's about you going into Thanksgiving. It's about your 24 days. If you want to cut out of it, cut out of it. And which means this. Let's say I tell you to do a curtsy lunge, because this is going to be one that gets asked often. Curtsy lunge, Mike, I hate them. Reverse lunge, it's okay. And if you don't want to do a lunge, don't. But don't substitute a lower body movement for an upper body movement. That would be my biggest suggestion there. But if you think that lower body lunges stink for you, or lunges stink for you, do squats, or skip it. There's no judgment here. It's a challenge. I think that they're pretty well programmed in general. Always room for improvement. But I think that if you do them in the sequences and the way that they're done, I think that you'll see that you'll have a lot of fun. That's it. Push-ups. Any of you who have problems with a push-up, and I know that they can be monstrous to us, a push-up is just as good as a chest press. So if you want to substitute chest press for a push-up, do it. Like, it's all good. It's not going to make that big of a difference right now. So let's make sure that, hey, if a push-up is too difficult and you don't want to try them, although I do suggest trying some, I would say, then do a chest press. What else do I have in here? Because I know that my handy dandy paperwork, right, that I scribble on, because I want to make sure that I got you guys. The buy-ins, the buyouts, streaming. Let's see, what else with the workouts that I could give you a tip with. Again, most of them are AMRAPs. You can break them up. Guys, you can break it up into anything. If you need to do 5, if it's a workout where it's like 50, 50, 50, 50, well, you can break it up into 5 rounds of 10, 10 rounds of 5. You can do whatever you want as long as you complete the amount of reps that are there. So don't feel you're any better, any less. You're just doing it your way, which is kind of a cool thing when you look at the Earn Your Thanksgiving Challenge at a whole. It's like, man, I just made it for me, and I made it so that I feel good about it. I made it so I feel successful. Shoes, you guys. I don't recommend running shoes. I think that they've got mesh for starters. Okay, so when you have mesh, that can begin to expand over time, and your foot can move. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. I like a flatter sole so that my feet aren't angled when I do my squats or my lunges, and the heel isn't raised. So I would recommend to be able to do that. The space that you need, it's probably 4x4, 5x5, 6x6. You can do it at home, you can do it in the garage, you can do it in the basement, you can do it at gym. There's not a place that is where you should do it or not do it. What are you gonna need? You will not need a pull-up bar. You will need dumbbells. You will need body weight. You might need a bench or a box if you are doing some of the regressions, which is excellent because it creates space for you and it creates the ability to get stronger over the next 24 days. And it decreases failure. I think that that's a big piece that what we want to do is we want to increase success. We want to decrease failure by increasing engagement, which means there's no shame in this. I've used this for so long with my mobility and my ankle issues. It really does help me in a lot of different things. The dumbbells will be like light, medium, and heavy. What else can I give you as far as you don't need a band. You can use it if you want to. Oh, let's talk about elevation. So different levels, right? And I don't want to say that someone's a beginner level and someone's like this athlete level, but there's all these different progressions. If you want to crush it and do it with a weight vest and jump off buildings and jump as high as you can, there's not a lot of jumping in this. There is burpees, but not a lot of jumping. But if you want to elevate it in any way, shape, or form you want to, that's on you, and I applaud it. I'll probably elevate certain workouts, and I will probably regress other workouts. So whatever you want to be able to do it and share it for your own personal recognition. And for those of you in the group that are accountability group, receive it as they're doing their thing, man, and be proud of them. It's not a reflection of where you're at. It's a reflection of their hard work. It's a reflection of everything that they're doing, and they're doing it to be inspiring and impactful to you. And you show up to be inspiring and impactful for them because your journey is just as important, and your challenge is just as important. Let's see, workouts. I'm just trying to think of some of the things that we had in the past that would be very highly important. So we went over, don't go too big too early. If you need to cut back the reps or the rounds, do it. It's not that big of a deal. It really is not. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I can't fix injuries. That's another one, guys. Unfortunately, in this challenge, I can't assess you. I can't fix injuries. I just can't. I mean, it's too hard to understand your history, what you've been doing, how you're moving. I would recommend you just being smart with your movement patterns, working on your mobility, lessening your intensity if that's bothering it, or stopping altogether. That would be a good one. And workouts, let's see, what else? You need shoes, you need a timer, you need a pen and paper. I would print off the worksheets. Workouts. I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna stream mine to, if I do it at home, to my TV. And again, I've mentioned this before. Basically what I do is I save the picture off of the web page. And then what I do is I could have the worksheet in front of me, but I stream it. So I go down to AirPlay, and I AirPlay it either to a laptop or I AirPlay it to my TV. So it's bigger. So I have this ability to just kind of look at what I have and what's coming up. I like knowing that. That's one of the things that's a big advantage in some of the programs and things that I write for other people. They're able to see these things. So I would recommend, if you're doing it at home, stream it to your laptop, stream it to your TV, so you can just see what's coming next while you're concentrating on your movements. I would play my own music. I'd rock out. Let's see, lunges and squats, always use a box. If you can't get into the depth, use it, sit, bounce off it, come back down. Lunges don't go as deep. If lunges are really gonna bother you, let's talk lunges, because lunges can be a little bit difficult on people's knees, and there are quite a few. You can hold statics, right? Like, figure it, for every lunge, it's like a 5-second hold. So think about like, oh, all right, I just need to be able to hold 5 seconds for each lunge that is in this workout. So just hold a static position in that lunge. Therefore, you're not putting any more pressure on, compounding pressure on your knees. So I think that that's a really good tip. Be careful of your knees caving in on squats. Make sure that they're outward, because that sets the hips and engages the glutes. Shoulders, make sure they're not internally rotated. Make sure that they're backing down so that you're there. Chest is always out. Always try to look for a neutral spine alignment rather than a rounded back. Rounded back means internally rotated shoulders. It also means a lot of pressure on the mid-back. It's a mobility challenge that you probably have. So we want to make sure that our shoulders are backing down and that we move the shoulder blades up and down the rib cage. That's the best cue that I can give with a shoulder. That would really help you guys. I think that's it. If you have any other questions on movements, let me know. But those are my tips on how to get through these. Oh, I have more. So there's going to be moments where you're going to be breathing hard and you're going to be taxed, and you're going to be like, do I just continuously do these? Like, I need to do 5 or I need to do 10, and you have to do 10 at a time. Well, if you got to do 2, rest and then do 4, and then rest and then do 3, that's fine. You don't have to do 10 continuously all at once. I would also say that when you do get tired, stop, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. I usually do 3 breaths because it gets taxing, and it's definitely challenging to have to, like, I'm still going. So don't feel as though you have to do these things unbroken, nonstop. I have to stop. So don't worry about that piece of it. Just be like, all right, I did 4. Get back after it. And then finish it. That's the way that I would do. Here's a great strategy too. Since it is, how many rounds can you do? I always feel this way. In my first opening round of doing any of the AMRAPs or the exercises, I use it as an exploratory round, which means, how did I feel? How was my weight selection? How is my speed? How is my intensity? Can I maintain this for 10 minutes? Can I continue to do this pace? Where will I be breaking it up? So I'm exploring at that point. If I am taxed on, on round 1 and I'm having to put weights down, that's a long 10 minutes, right? So you want to be able to say, hey, how can I get into an area where I'm going to be able to go maybe 2-3 rounds where I'm constantly in motion, just moving along at a good pace. And then if I wanted to pick it up towards the end, I'll pick it up. Or if I have to break it up towards the end, I'll break it up. So that is really a big cue as far as the workouts. Exploratory, maintain, and then sprint to the end. Those are like my 3 phases of any AMRAP, because I want to win. I have a competitive spirit to me to be like, all right, explore. Can I maintain this? Do I need to up it just a little bit? And then I want to maintain just movement. And then I think somebody's out in front of me and I just want to beat them. And I think that towards the last round or the last 2 whatever it may be. So take your deep breaths. It's okay. Enjoy. Test yourself. Let me know how it feels to be uncomfortable. Let us all know what it feels to be uncomfortable and move. And let's all know about your personal journey and how you're dealing with the challenge. That's what I got for my workout tips.